Hi, it's time for Street Talk, your voice and your views on the issues in the news. The world has a new 7 wonders. 2,000 years after the original ancient 7 wonders were named by the Greeks, these winners were announced following a global vote, mostly on the internet, involving up to 100 million people. They are the Great Wall of China, India's Taj Mahal, there's Machu Picchu in Peru, and from Brazil, the statue of Christ the Redeemer, the famous Colosseum in Rome, the Mayan ruins at Chichen Itza in Mexico, and Jordan's Petra. They beat out 14 other nominated landmarks. Well, the winners were announced during a grand ceremony in Lisbon, Portugal. Almost 200 nominations came in, and the list was narrowed to 21 at the beginning of 2006. The campaign to name the new wonders was launched by Swiss adventurer Bernard Weber in 1999. Elena in Rome believes the entrepreneur's mission promoted the right things. Bernard Weber may have gained a lot by starting this project, but he has also taught us to admire architectural innovation and to appreciate man's ingenuity. Many people wrote in wanting to know why certain wonders weren't a part of the competition. Anjum in Rome sent us this email. The Holy Kaaba in Mecca is the oldest man-made place of worship in the world. Why is it not considered one of the new 7 wonders of the world? Benny in Doha in Qatar believes the organizers should have included historical figures as well. My vote would go to George W. Bush. He definitely makes me wonder sometimes. Very witty, Benny. And talking of wit, last week we hosted South African cartoonist Jonathan Shapiro, who's been lampooning his country's leaders, among others, for years. Shapiro was in Washington to receive the Courage in Editorial Cartooning Award by the Cartoonists' Rights Network International, who held a gala dinner in his honor. After some recent hard-hitting drawings, Shapiro, whose pen name is Zapiro, is being sued for millions by former South African Deputy President Jacob Zuma. Melanie in California is happy to see the South African cartoonist awarded for his hard work and dedication. In a time when real journalism is hard to find, it's refreshing to see the likes of Jonathan Shapiro get the credit and respect that they deserve. Brent in New York doesn't understand why some people take offense to political cartoons. Zapiro was only doing his job. Jacob Zuma needs to stop his sniffling and move on already. Well, from Egypt, Ahmed writes to say he believes that cartoonists need to walk a fine line in order not to offend people. Shapiro is a very talented artist, but cartoonists need to be aware of the sensitivities of others, especially when it comes to religion. Everything else should be fair game. And sometimes finding the right birthday gift can be very difficult and exhausting. So how about when the birthday person is someone who has it all, like the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev? That's the dilemma one man found himself in last week. In front of thousands of people, Ahmed Surkhalitilov emerged covered in oil and glittering in cream. Then he put himself in a glass box of 50 by 50 centimeters, which was then sealed and hoisted by a crane into a glass container filled with water. Well, 10 minutes and 3 seconds later, the box was lifted out of the water and opened. Surkhatilov had been practicing yoga for years and told journalists he succeeded in setting his personal record in the box and hoped to register with the Guinness Book of World Records. I hope he wasn't holding his breath while waiting for his record attempt to be accepted. Well, making hand shadows is a lot of fun, especially when it's done properly, and this fascinating and age-old art comes to life in a music video for a Japanese band called Sour. You've got to hand it to them. Hand it to them. That's it until next time. Do keep sending in your questions and comments and point us to anything interesting or amusing for Street Talk. Remember, what you see here isn't necessarily the view of Al Jazeera, and some of the content's been edited, but for time and space reasons only. And that's the talk on the street.